And now, Lifestyles Unlimited presents the Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Over the next hour, we unfold your map to financial freedom. You'll learn how to retire through investing in single-family and multifamily real estate. You'll learn how to create cash flow and build wealth so you can have the time and money to live the lifestyle you want.
Welcome to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. I'm Mike Harrison, and yes, we are always working on your financial freedom. It's my absolute privilege to be joining you today. And as always, if you miss any part of the show, you can pick it up on YouTube, on the Lifestyles Unlimited YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show podcast. It is free of charge and will upload automatically on your smartphone. And as always, the Lifestyles Unlimited website, lifestylesunlimited.com. There are literally decades of this radio show on that site. Not all me, several other hosts, and the great Dale Walmsley himself. Later in this show, we're going to get into chunking as a real estate investing strategy. Chunking as a strategy at face value is so simple, yet so profound when you understand the power of chunking and exactly what that does for your financial bottom line. But before we get to that, I do have an email I want to finish up with Steve. Steve is one of our preferred members in Florida. He's been investing passively for a couple of years. Steve works, he's 30 days on, 30 days off. So his strategy is the passive investing strategy, which is literally the hands-off, easiest way that you can invest in multifamily properties. And Steve recently, he's made some financial moves, and he's uncovered another $140,000 to invest. So when we talk about the money is there, you've got to find it, you've got to uncover it, you've got the money to invest. Well, Steve, he's already invested in a few passive deals, and he's uncovered another $140,000. And he says exactly this to me. He says, Mike, what can I achieve with $140,000? How do I invest that? Well, Steve, the short answer to I can't answer that for you, okay? You've got to find the opportunities that are there. I'm sure they're coming across. You've invested in a few, and you've got to analyze those opportunities against the strategy that works for you. Look at several of them and go through that and find the ones that work for you. Let me go ahead and say this for the listener. First of all, if you're going to invest in single-family homes, not multifamily properties, you can literally double your money immediately, right? Now, it's unrealized. You can do an instant double as you buy that property. For instance, what do I mean by that? $35,000 out of pocket into a home that is undervalued because it hasn't been taken care of. It's beaten up. It needs some care. It needs some lifting. 35 in, and you can easily achieve a $35,000 equity capture, if not more. I'm seeing those deals come across each and every day in my email, and maybe we do a show a few weeks from now where I'll actually pull some real deals and go through those numbers. I'm not going to do that now. So back to Steve's question, though. Here's what I would say, Steve. I would say go slow, okay? You've got this 140, and you're like a kid in a candy store, right? I know you want to deploy it. Take your time, okay? That was actually a mistake. I wouldn't say it's a mistake. Everything's worked out great. But when I decided to go passively in 2018, I had a chunk of money that I'd worked on. I'd owned single-family properties, and they had appreciated and come full circle. And boom, man, I put that money into play literally within 6 months. Wham, bam, right? I was in the club. And so I got excited. I probably should have gone a little slower. So, Steve, now's your opportunity to go slow. I'd take a year or more, yes, with that $140,000, and maybe even break it into chunks of $25,000. Okay, if you can come up with an extra 10 from your W-2 income, that gives you $150. You might be able to do 6 deals at $25,000 each. Spread them around a little bit, and you're going to learn from each and every one of those. Now, that 140, and I'm going to be conservative here, okay? But this is based on the metrics I'm seeing. You should be able to double your investment within, I'm going to say every 4 years, okay? Possibly every 3. That's an internal rate of return anywhere from 15 to 30%. Now, being very conservative. Many are much greater than that. So What's an easy way to know when you can double your money? Well, you find the return of the investment and you divide it into 72. It's called the rule of 72. So anything that you're invested in, you divide it into 72, and that will tell you annually how long it will take you to double your money. So 140,000, 8 years from now, 150,000, two doubles, that sounds like $600,000 of net worth to me, okay, in just 8 years. Again, I'm being overly conservative. I rest assured, at least 600, maybe more than that within 8 years. Now, keep in mind that as these investments that you have, as they go full circle, you need to redeploy, repeat over and over and over. Keep feeding that snowball. When one of the deals matures and you get a chunk of money back, put that back in to the snowball. Continue to grow that cash flow snowball. So if your money's tied up in the 401 or the IRA, I mean, God forbid you want your money before you're 59 and a half. Right? They're going to penalize you for that. What kind of plan is that? Shame on you. You know, they take the newspaper and slap you in the face with it. So, Steve, in regards to the 140, I can't tell you where to put it. Let me just give you some of the following criteria that I follow as a passive investor. This has basically, this wasn't me on day one, but it's a strategy that I've implemented and I've learned over these 6 years, as a passive investor. So I'm not putting any money with one given lead investor more than two deals, okay? So I'm limited that. And in the past, I've done as many as 4 or 5 with the same lead at any given time. So I've since thinned that to do no more than 2 with any one lead at any one time. No more than 10% of my net worth is in the hands of any one lead, okay? I know some investors that have tailored that down to 5%. For me, no blue cities or blue states, for that matter. Texas is a great place to invest, but we do have some blue areas, and I'm not investing in those. I have in the past, but I've tailored it. And so my better opportunities seem to be in areas that are pro-business, pro-property rights. No more than 10% of my net worth in any one metro area, okay? Keep that in mind if that's something you want to do. Just kind of don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Spread that money around. I'd like to get to where 40 to 50% of my investments of my the money I have invested passively is outside of Texas. That's going to take a while. Look, I'm still bullish on Texas, all right? But I can tell you last year in 2023, for every $5 I invested passively, 4 of those dollars were outside of Texas. I'm just trying to spread it around. And I like leads that are into their first or second opportunity. I feel like they're extremely hands-on in those. It's their first time or their second time. Not saying that seasoned leads aren't great, because they are, but I'm having some fun investing with some first and second time leads, getting to know those folks and seeing how they put these properties together. So I'm really focusing on those folks. I'm looking to leads. There's a lot of leads out there, and they have several properties. Okay, I'm looking to stay with a lead that has no more than 4 active opportunities at one time. Now, I'm not telling you how to do that. I'm just saying, hey, this is some information that Dell's provided recently at the 2-day here. Try to keep those folks, get with those folks that have no more than 4. And Dell's thought on that is you can pay more attention if you only have 4 rather than 10 going on at any one time. Study the opportunities. Network with other passive investors to find out more about the deal. Find out more about that passive investor. Some of the best advice I had received is from one of our super passives, and she told me once, she goes, Mike, I won't invest with a lead that I can't sit down and have a meal for 3 hours or conversation with. She's got to get that warm and fuzzy with that individual. And I think that's great advice when you look at it. Here's another thing. Coastal properties, right? I've got a few that are along the coast, but don't overexpose yourself to one coastal area, right? If you've got 50% of your net worth, say along the coast, Galveston, Corpus Christi, the Gulf Coast, anywhere along those lines, you get a hurricane, and that could put a damper on your returns, your quarterly returns, for some time. So yes, hurricanes do happen. So limit your exposure to things like that. So Steve, I hope those help, and best of luck to you. Now, chunking. As I mentioned in the first segment, let's talk about chunking. When I first heard this strategy of chunking, I was absolutely floored. Chunking is a strategy that's literally so simple, yet so profound. And the concept of chunking helps one understand why an extra $250 to $300 per month to your bottom line is a game changer. And you may be going, Mike, $250 to $300, are you kidding? $250 is not going to change my life. And I'm here to tell you, oh, yes, it will. Allow me to explain. Chunking is a strategy where you buy your life back one piece at a time. What's the old metaphor? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You see, the problem with most of us today is that people live paycheck to paycheck. And how do we overcome that? And if you make 50 grand a year, 80 grand a year, I've got friends that they're combined, husband and wife, they make well over $250,000 a year, yet they're still living paycheck to paycheck, and chunking will help you overcome that.
Got questions? Call Lifestyles Unlimited at 855-497-4335. The Real Estate Investor Radio Show continues next.
Need more unconventional wisdom that'll set you free? Subscribe to Lifestyles Unlimited on YouTube and binge content that will actually help you get where you want to go in life from people who are already there. With over 50,000 members and 32 years of proven success, there's so much more we want to share with you than what we have time for on the radio. On YouTube, we go beyond our shows and feature our best content from podcasts, interviews, expo, Masters Tour, fireside chats, special events, and more.
Creating the lifestyle you've always wanted. You're hearing Lifestyles Unlimited's Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Welcome back to the show. If you have any questions or comments for me, or just want to know how you can get started, please send me an email. I'm here to help. My email address is askmike@luinc.com. And I'll tell you this, if there's a topic you'd like me to cover on the show, send me an email, put show topic in the subject line, and lay it on me. And if I can get it on the show, I'll be happy to. If you'd like to see how we make money 5 ways on a single-family property and 6 ways on a multi-family property, please attend one of our free workshops. We invite you. That's freeworkshoplivestream.com. Check us out. I'm talking about chunking, and chunking is a real estate strategy. It's where you buy your life back one chunk at a time, one piece at a time. Because the problem we have today is most folks live paycheck to paycheck. And how do you overcome that? Well, you start by adding an additional $250 to $300 per month to your income, passive income, right? This is the easy income. This isn't the JOB income. And $250 to $300, that's about the average we're seeing today on a single family purchase on the cash flow side of it. Do we see more than $250 occasionally? Absolutely. I just saw one come across 2 days ago, come across my email. Yes, I'm on the email blast, and came across, and it had it was greater than $500 in cash flow per month. My first property that I purchased using the Lifestyles Unlimited model was $550 per month. So, but let's use that average $250. Okay, so $250 per month. That first single family home. Well, that might pay your utilities, right? Your gas, your electric, your water bill. That second single family property. That may provide enough additional income to start eating into that car note. And if you don't have a car note, good for you. Maybe that money goes toward, if you're renting, it could go to your rent. If you have a mortgage, it could go to your mortgage. The third single-family property, well, maybe that helps pay your grocery bill. So looking at it like this, let's say monthly, your financial obligations, right? Everything that you need to pay, whether you're single or taking care of a family, is $3,500 per month, for instance. And I'm just pulling these numbers out of the air. And you made it your mission this year. You say, Mike, I'm going to buy 5 single-family rental properties, okay, 5 of them. Each one of those, let's use that $250 average to the bottom line. Well, within 1 year, you just covered over 30% of your financial needs in 1 year. Try that with your job, okay? How powerful is that? Putting an extra $1,250 per month to the bottom line. Would that make a difference? If you worked diligently investing in single-family properties over the next 3 years and created an additional $2,500 or more per month, would that change your life? That's what I did. In 3 years, I purchased 10 single-family homes. Actually, 11 single-family homes. And I think about it. So a 10-home single-family portfolio, look, it's gonna provide that monthly income. It's going to give you that chunking, right, as you go. But I'm here to tell you, it's going to do a lot more than help your financial situation. It's going to help your mental situation. Just having passive income coming in is such a relief. You'll sleep better at night. Your meals will taste better. You'll be in a better mood. You can literally, and I went through this, you can feel the stress lift off of your shoulders, okay? And then here's another benefit. Your relationship with your significant other will get better, right? It's just something about income. Money's not everything, right? It's not the money, it's the lifestyle. And that's that lifestyle side. Your relationship will get better. Del Walmsley has a saying. He says, more is not better. Better is better. And he's so correct when he says that. When I reached that milestone, thinking back, when I earned, when my earnings were coming in at $1,000 per month, right, or a little more than $1,000, that's when my wife really took notice, okay? She wasn't against what I was doing. Let's just say she was a little hesitant, right? The mother bear, she wants to take care of her family and make sure that we're not destroying our net worth or doing something crazy. But once that repetitive, well over $1,000 per month was coming in, she took notice, okay? And as a family, we have the same worries as you, okay? Providing for our kids, running our family, everything that entails, school, tutoring, clothing, sports. Holy cow, sports are expensive. Just after school activities, things that your kids are involved in. Yeah, we had those concerns. I'll tell you this, with the passive income, the bills, my financial obligations became much less daunting. We pay the same things you do. Insurance, property taxes, utilities. In the summer, I'm always anxious to open that electric bill, especially after you go through in August in Texas, man. It's high, but it's not as daunting anymore. Home maintenance, right? Your personal home is expensive. It's not an asset, man. It is expensive. Vehicles, food, fuel, college. We have the same cost and concerns that you do. The difference is, I'll tell you the difference right now. I have several earners, single-family homes and apartment communities. You ever watch The Sopranos or any sort of mafioso movies out there? They're always talking about, hey, that guy, he's a good earner. You know what I'm saying? So I have several good earners, and these earners work day and night for me. And it's just one little chunk at a time, okay? One little piece at a time. So chunking as a strategy, it's all about the cash flow. Okay, now that's just one way we're making money on these properties. When I was talking about your mental situation, those others really add to that. But that cash that's coming in and month out, that is the most significant and by far the most important reason why we invest in single-family properties. Okay, we start with the cash flow. I can't imagine any part of my life for the rest of my days, whether that's 1 day or 50 years, I can't imagine any part of my life where I do not have passive income coming in each and every month. Passive income is literally, it's true liberty. It's true freedom, okay? True liberty and true freedom. I'm going to ask you this, and this is why I say it's such a powerful strategy. Let's look at it. Let's look at it for real here, okay? What's your alternative? What is it? You're living paycheck to paycheck, okay? You work your tail off. You put in the overtime. You're driving to and from work each and every day. Hopefully you get the weekends off. Many of you don't, okay? I feel for you, especially if you're in a big city and you've got the grinder, that traffic grinder, and you're doing that day in and day out. Now, let's say you work really, really hard this year and your boss gives you, a 5% raise for working really hard? If you're lucky, inflation's more than that, okay? So if you're making $80,000 a year, you're busting your tail in hopes of what? So you can make $84,000 per year, a $4,000 raise, that's 5%. And 5%, last time I checked, and I was in corporate America, that's a decent bump. Not everyone gets a 5% raise every year. And let's also call it what it is. $4,000 pre-tax. So what is that? You're going to work your tail off for another year for an additional $2,500? It makes no sense. Okay? You've got to detach yourself from the conventional monotony of work to get ahead. Okay? You've got to detach yourself from that. So just hammering it out so you can get another $2,500 per year, you're not going to get wealthy, my friends. And I'll tell you this, for those of you that are big earners, that have big paychecks, a paycheck is not wealth. It's not. So you can purchase 2 single-family properties in the next couple of months, and those properties will give you an extra $5,000 per year tax-free. So you can work, and hope you get the 5% raise, or you can simply invest in 2 single-family properties the way we teach you, get a great resident in them, and bam, you just added $5,000 per year tax-free. You don't have to worry about your boss giving you that raise or hoping your boss gives you that raise. You just gave yourself a raise, and you won't work nearly as hard, okay? Yes, you've got to purchase them, you've got to rehab them, you've got to go through the process, you've got to stabilize them. It takes about 90 days, put a great resident in there, and then go back to doing what you do, okay? So my point, you're going to work and work and work and hope for the best, or are you going to take the easy route and buy some rental property? It's that simple. What's holding you back, friends? Send me an email. askmike@luinc.com. And I'd like to make 2 points, okay? When people that are not real estate investors at first glance, when someone says, yeah, I'd like to buy some rental property, and how much, Mike, how much can I make? Well, the way we teach it, you're going to make about $250 to $300 per month on average. Most people from the outside that don't understand that power of chunking that I've been talking about, they get turned off. They feel like it's an overabundant amount of work to only make another $300 per month. But it's not just the $300. That's just the start. They don't understand the entire concept of buying your life back. That's just one piece of the puzzle. Okay, so it's not a one and done. You don't stop with one rental. That's just your start. So it's one rent home in the next 3 months, and then before the end of the year, it's another 3 rent homes, and then you look back, and 3 years have gone by, and it's 10 rent homes, on and on and on. Others will tell me they'll that don't understand the concept that we use leverage. They'll say, "Well, Mike, I can make more than $300 a month. I'll just pay cash for the rental property." Okay, let's follow that scenario. Let's say you pay cash for a rental property and the rent is $1,600 per month. Okay, are you making more with $1,600 than at face value than the $250 to $300? Yes, $1,600 is more than $300. You're not looking at the correct, most effective way to do this, okay? And I know there's a guy out there, and he talks about the paid-in-cash rental property. No, no, and no. Okay, that's financial kindergarten. Let's go to financial master's level here. You're going to use leverage on those properties. If you pay cash for a rental property, I promise you, your returns will be, your return on your investment will be single-digit returns, okay? When you use leverage, buy it the way we teach, your returns in that first year are often greater than 100%, much greater than 100%. And over the time that you own that rental property, I don't know if you own it 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years, that's really a compounded 20 to 30% annualized. You realize that gain on the equity capture, and then that's your money. So you need to bake that in to your return on that. And I know that may be hard to understand, but that's what we teach here at Lifestyles Unlimited. Now back to that $1,600 for the guy that paid cash for the rental property. He's not able to depreciate that cash flow against the property 100%, let's say. So you can depreciate over 27 and a half years. So you take the value of the property minus the land and you divide it by 27 and a half, and that's how much the IRS will allow you to essentially depreciate against the cash flow. You don't want that number to be higher than the cash flow. So if you're sticking to 250 to 300, you're going to be able to, in most instances, probably 9 out of 10 times, if not more than that, depreciate that cash flow entirely. And the other point here, so the guy that paid cash for the rental property, what instead, if you use leverage and you went and purchased 6 or 8 properties, right? So now we're looking at big picture. If you had 8 properties earning $250 per month, and tax-free, by the way, or 1 property earning $1,600 per month, taxable. I know this is the radio and math is hard, but I think the answer there is crystal clear. Give me the 8 properties earning $250 per month. Enjoy the $2,000 tax-free instead of the $1,600 taxable. So that's the primary reason why we use leverage on these properties. So don't get turned off by the 250 to 300. That's so powerful. So if you agree with me there, what are some tasks you can do to change direction now? One, I'm going to advise you review your credit report. We do bring the bank to every deal, so you've got to get your credit in order. Doesn't have to be excellent credit. Excellent credit definitely helps because it gives you the best rates because, again, we're putting leverage on these properties. There is a place where you can actually pull your credit report for free. If you type in free credit report online, there's going to be 75 things that pop up, and you have to pay for all of them. So there's only one place that I know of, and it's called annualcreditreport.com, annualcreditreport.com. You should be pulling that every year anyway. If you've got kids, pull their credit report. You don't know what's going on out there. There's a lot of bad actors. So yeah, pull your credit. Make sure your credit is in order. So that's step 1. Step 2, personal financial statement, your PFS. Create a personal financial statement. There's a ton of blueprints online. I believe we even have a template here at Lifestyles Unlimited that you can use. So get your personal financial statement in order. So your credit report, your PFS, very important. Budget. We use money to invest. You need to be living below your means. So number 1, so you can put money together to deploy, have a budget. Most important, change your mindset, okay? It takes time. You've got to start thinking properly. You can do that. There's some great books, Richest Man in Babylon. There's another one called Stop Acting Rich. I like Tony Robbins' Unlimited Power. Like the Kiyosaki series, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, although he's going to talk about gold and silver. Those are rocks. Don't get lost in that. But he does talk about the power of passive income and accept that there must be a change, okay? That may be the most difficult. But once you accept that, then the direction will become clear. And always remember, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle. Make it a great day.
The information and opinions you hear on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show are those of the host, guests, and callers. The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.